at Falcon Field. A very cloudy day, but hopefully they can get both games of the doubleheader in. Today's ball games between the SIC Falcons of Dave Montfort. They're 7-9 now on the year, and they're taking on Illinois Central. Illinois Central on their spring trip down here into southern Illinois, and they are winless right now. They've been swept 3 straight doubleheaders, and they are 0-6 on the year. Southeastern swept a doubleheader yesterday from the conference champions of the fall, Rend Lake. Yesterday, Southeastern won 7-6 in the first ball game, as SIC got a sacrifice fly from Dennis Baconheister in the 10th inning to score Greg Goodley for the winning run. In the second ball game, Southeastern beat Rend Lake 4-2. It was Alberto Ferzani winning the first ball game in relief, and Ray Arvin went all the way for the Falcons to pick up the victory in game number 2. So SIC comes into today's doubleheader with a record of 7-9. Illinois Central is 0-6, and we'll be back to give you the starting lineups in just a minute. The batting order for Illinois Central, 0-6 on the year, will be Frank Smith leading it off and playing center field. Batting second will be Ted Moore, the shortstop. Hitting third for Illinois Central will be Matt Morris. He's their third baseman. Bill Smith will be the catcher, and he'll hit in the cleanup spot. Hitting fifth will be Larry Scarcliffe. He's the first baseman. Tom Dunn, the pitcher today, will be hitting sixth. Andy Shaber will be hitting seventh, and he'll be playing right field. It'll be Wes Wombles in left field and hitting eighth, and Mike Albers, the second baseman, will be batting ninth for Illinois Central. Again, the starting pitcher will be Tom Dunn. For SIC in the first ball game today, they'll be leading off with Greg Goodley. Goodley will be playing left field in game number 1. Hitting second will be the second baseman, Neil Volkman. Batting third, the third baseman, Alberto Ferzani. Hitting in the cleanup spot will be Dave Cantwell, and he'll be playing first base. Batting hitting fifth, Ryan Gray, the catcher for SIC. Dennis Baconheister will be the designated hitter, and he'll hit sixth. It'll be Rick Cameron, the center fielder, hitting seventh. Greg Shepard will be hitting in the eighth spot and playing right field, and Chris Wire from Evansville, he'll be playing shortstop today and hitting ninth for Dave Montfort's SIC Falcons. The pitcher in game number 1 for the Falcons will be the right-handed freshman Steve Markey. Markey has been pitching rather shakily in the last few ball games, but he almost won the contest on Sunday. They lost it by the score of 5-4 to Paducah Community College. Back on Sunday, they beat Paducah in the first ball game with Mike Murray pitching, and Steve Markey lost that second ball game 5-4, but the Falcons had a runner thrown out for the final out of the ball game, or that could have tied things up, and the Falcons could have possibly swept that doubleheader on Sunday. But SIC 7-9 now after a doubleheader sweep yesterday, and we'll be ready for baseball action here in just about a minute from Falcon Field. SIC against Illinois Central, back in the first game of the doubleheader today between SIC and Illinois Central. The Falcons 7-9 now on a 2-game winning streak, and they'll be taking on Illinois Central. They're winless so far in the spring season. They're on their spring trip here in southern Illinois. This will be their 4th doubleheader in a matter of days, and they're 0-6 on the season. It'll be Steve Markey, the right-handed freshman, going for Dave Montfort's ball club. Looking down the Falcons lineup and their batting averages coming into today's ball game, Greg Goodley comes in hitting .250. It'll be Neil Volkman hitting second at .364. Alberto Ferzani is hitting .418 coming into today's action. Ferzani also has been playing very well as of late in the field and also at bat. He got a couple big hits in yesterday's ball game and also pitched and got the victory in the first ball game. Dennis Baconheister is hitting .250. It's Dave Cantwell at .306, Chris Wire at .275, Tony Oakes at .250, Ryan Gray at .367, Rick Cameron at .262, Dave Melsheimer's hitting .077, Andrew Joslin is hitting .353 so far in the spring, and Greg Shepard, who will be playing this afternoon and hitting 8th, is hitting .083 coming into today's contest. We're ready for baseball here in game number 1 from Falcon Field. Steve Markey, the right-hander, on the mound for the Falcons, and the first batter is Frank Smith, the center fielder for Illinois Central. And we'll be ready for action as soon as they turn off the music box here, and we get some applause from the crowd as soon as they turn that off. We're ready for baseball. It's all quiet here at Falcon Field. Plenty of seats out here if you can catch the doubleheader. And here's the first pitch to Smith. He tries to bunt. Ball hits the front of the plate. Ryan Gray chases it down. Now comes back into the batter's box. And we're all set to go once again. Frank Smith, the center fielder, the first batter for Illinois Central. It's a line drive foul down the third baseline. Frank Smith, the leadoff hitter. He'll be followed by Ted Moore, the Illinois Central shortstop. Matt Morsch, the Illinois Central third baseman, will be hitting third. And if anybody gets on, Bill Smith, the catcher, will be hitting in the cleanup spot. Here's the pitch from Markey. Strike called. So Frank Smith is caught looking for the first out. Steve Markey gets the first strikeout of the ball game, the first hitter, Frank Smith, and that'll bring up Ted Moore. Moore, the shortstop for Illinois Central, about 5'4" tall. Digs in. Steve Markey pitching the first ball game. He usually goes in the second half of the doubleheaders. Mike Murray usually pitches in the first game, but Markey is pitching the first one here, and the first pitch to Ted Moore is a strike call. So far in this first inning, Steve Markey with good control. He struck out the first hitter, Frank Smith, and Ted Moore has one strike against him here. There's the pitch from Markey. Strike two off the outside corner. So Ted Moore has looked at two straight strikes, and now he's in the hole at 0-2. First inning action here from SIC. The Falcons will be playing again at home on Friday against Malcolm X College. And here's a swing and a miss to Ted Moore. Two straight strikeouts now for Steve Markey, and two down here in the first inning. It's gone very quickly, and that'll bring up the third hitter, Matt Morsch, the third baseman. Two straight strikeouts to lead off the top half of the first inning for Steve Markey, and we have two down, and Matt Morsch takes a few practice swings and now begins to dig in. Morsch about 5'10", 200-pounder, very stout, right-handed hitter. First pitch to him, curveball, strike call. So good control for Steve Markey so far here in the top half of the first inning. He struck out the first two batters, Frank Smith and Ted Moore. Matt Morsch behind on the count now with one strike. Here's the pitch from Markey. Strike two. Matt Morsch looks back at umpire Eldon Wagner and says, I don't know about that one, but the strike call was put up on the board. Two strikes for Matt Morsch. Here's the pitch from Markey. Swing and a miss, so Matt Morsch goes down swinging, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down, all strikeouts for Steve Markey. And after one half inning from Falcon Field, no score inning at Falcon Field. Steve Markey struck out the side in the first inning for Illinois Central. So the Falcons come to bat, and their first three hitters will be Greg Goodley, the left fielder, Neil Volkman, the second baseman, and Alberto Ferzani, the third baseman. Greg Goodley coming into the contest, hitting .250. 11 hits out of 44 times at bat. He's got one double. He scored a run, has 5 stolen bases, has struck out 7 times and walked 7 times, and he has 3 RBI so far in the spring. Greg Goodley will lead it off for the Falcons, a .250 hitter so far on the first 16 ball games of the spring season. A doubleheader here between SIC and Illinois Central. On Friday, the Falcons will be at home, and they'll be taking on Malcolm X College, and then Sunday, they also have a doubleheader. Easter Sunday, they'll be playing Malcolm X again. So 4 games in the immediate future between SIC and Malcolm X. That's a Friday doubleheader here at Falcon Field and also a Sunday doubleheader. Greg Goodley steps in. He's the first hitter for Dave Montfort's Falcons. And here's the first pitch, a strike call on the outside corner. Tom Dunn, a big right-hander, is the starting pitcher for Illinois Central. Goodley steps back in. Here's the pitch from Dunn, way outside and low. That'll even the count at 1-1. Mike Murray, probably the starting pitcher in game number 2, runs over and will be coaching first base. Dave Montfort, of course, coaching third. Goodley hits a slow roller down the first baseline, rolls foul. 1-2 to Greg Goodley. The hitting order for SIC is Goodley, Volkman, Forzani, Cantwell, Gray, Baconheister, Cameron, Shepard, and Wire with Steve Markey on the mound. Goodley steps back in. Here's the pitch from Dunn, way inside for ball 2. That evens the count at 2-2 to Greg Goodley, the left fielder. Goodley steps back in. Here's the pitch way high. Almost hit him again. Goodley ducked out of the way. That makes it a full count, 3-2. Now Greg Goodley calls timeout. Wets his batting gloves, and he'll be stepping back in. Tom Dunn, a big right-hander, on the mound for Illinois Central. 0-6 Illinois Central, 7-9 SIC. Here's the pitch to Goodley inside for ball 4. That'll bring up second baseman Neil Volkman. Volkman, a notorious first ball hitter, will be stepping in. Volkman coming into today's contest hitting .364. He's got 20 hits and 55 at bats, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Now Dunn tosses over to first base and Goodley back safely. On deck for SIC will be Alberto Forzani. Here's the pitch from Dunn. Strike called, and Goodley, stealing second, makes it easily. Catcher had trouble holding on to the ball, and Greg Goodley easily down to second base. Volkman took that pitch. It looked kind of low. He got the called strike, and so Volkman will step back in with 1 strike. Greg Goodley now down at second. So SIC with a runner in scoring position here in the first inning. And 1 run just might be enough with Steve Markey on the mound the way he pitched in that first inning. Here's the pitch to Volkman, high for ball 1. 1-1 now to Neil Volkman. Tom Dunn taking his time here, pitching so far in the first inning. Here's the pitch from Dunn. Swing and check swing, but it's called strike on Neil Volkman, so that'll make it 1-2. Volkman a little bit hesitant to swing at that one, got about halfway around, decided not to swing, but got the called strike, so it's 1-2 to Neil Volkman. Goodley with a pretty good lead off of second. Shortstop decides to slide a little bit towards second base now, and Dunn turns around and fakes the pickoff throw to second base. Goodley back easily. So Tom Dunn gets his foot back on the rubber, and Neil Volkman steps back in. 1-2, nobody out here in the first inning. Here's the pitch to Volkman. Foul ball back to the screen, so the count will remain at 1-2. One and two to Neil Volkman. SIC, who has a runner at second base. Illinois Central went down quickly in that first inning with 3 straight strikeouts by right-hander Steve Markey. Volkman stepping back in. Here's the pitch from Dunn. High fly ball into center field. Center fielder comes in now, calls for it, and has it, and Goodley is going to have to hold at second base. So Neil Volkman hit a looper to center field, which was caught by the center fielder, brought back in, and Greg Goodley goes back to second base, and that'll be 1 down here in the first inning, and Alberto Forzani will be stepping in. Forzani hitting .418, 14 for 34, 6 RBIs, and he's walked 15 times. Forzani, a menacing-looking right-handed hitter. Goodley with a pretty good lead at second base. Here's the first pitch to Alberto, and it's low for ball 1. Greg Goodley's at second, now gets a pretty good lead, almost to the shortstop. 1 out. Now Dunn throws the ball back to second base, but a rather nonchalant throw, and Goodley easily back in. On deck for SIC, Dave Cantwell, the first baseman. Here's a pitch from Dunn. High fly ball to deep center field. Center fielder now gets underneath it, makes the catch. Goodley is going to tag up. Here's the throw to third, and Greg Goodley is in, standing up. So Alberto Ferzani launched a booming fly ball to center field. It was caught, and Goodley tagged up and made it standing up. So Goodley is now over to third. 2 down, though, in the first inning, and that'll bring up Dave Cantwell. Cantwell hitting .306, 15 RBIs. He's 15 for 49 so far with 1 homer and 2 stolen bases. Cantwell, 6'5", out of Momence, Illinois. A good hitter. And here's the first pitch to him, a swing and a miss. Greg Goodley at third. 2 down now for the Falcons. No score here in the first inning. First game of a doubleheader from Falcon Field. Plenty of time to get out here and see some baseball on the campus of SIC. Here's the pitch to Cantwell. Low, now gets away from the catcher. Here's a throw to the plate, and Greg Goodley is going to be called out at home. The ball didn't get too far away from the catcher. He got it back to the pitcher very quickly, and Goodley is out trying to steal home. So that's 3 outs now for the Falcons. In the first inning for SIC, no runs, no hits, and nobody left on base after 1. No score from Falcon Field. A very husky catcher. You can probably expect Smith to hit the ball very hard this afternoon in both games of the doubleheader. Steve Markey on the mound, checking the Falcon defense for you here in the second inning. Dave Cantwell's at first. It's Neil Volkman at second. Chris Wire at short. And Alberto Ferzani is at third. The outfield for SIC is Greg Shepard in right field, Rick Cameron in center, and Greg Goodley in left. Ryan Gray, the catcher, Steve Markey, the pitcher. And now that we have the defense set for you, we're ready for second inning baseball here from Falcon Field. Stepping in, the catcher, Bill Smith. Here's the first pitch from Markey, low for ball 1. SIC swept a doubleheader yesterday, and they're now 7-9 on the season. Their next ball games on Friday against Malcolm X College. Here's a swing and a miss from Bill Smith, a powerhouse swing, but didn't get anything of the baseball, so the count now 1-1 on Bill Smith. Here's the pitch from Markey. Outside, check swing from Bill Smith. He wanted to go fishing on that one, decided against it, and the count now 2-1. Very windy, cloudy day out here at Falcon Field. May see some homers going out today. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. That time, Bill Smith went fishing, a pitch way outside. No way he could get it, but he took a swing at it anyway, and the count now 2-2. Nobody out, second inning action here. Illinois Central against SIC. Here's the pitch now. High fly ball, left center field. Cameron has a beat on it and makes the catch. So Steve Markey's strikeout string ends at 3, but he's got 4 straight hitters down in order, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Larry Scarcliffe. Scarcliffe, a right-handed hitter, wears number 23 on his yellow and blue jersey. Illinois Central down here on their spring trip. We talked to one of their players before the ball game. He said so they play as far south as they can get, and that is here in southern Illinois. The first pitch to Scarcliffe is low and outside for ball 1. 1 down in the second inning. Here's the pitch from Markey. Strike call. Good pitch right on the inside corner. No way Scarcliffe was going to hit that one unless he hit it off the inside of his bat. 1-1 now to Larry Scarcliffe. The pitch from Markey is inside this time. 2-1. Larry Scarcliffe, the first baseman. Coming up next will be Tom Dunn, the Illinois Central pitcher. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike call on the outside corner. 2-2 to Larry Scarcliffe. Steve Markey with 3 strikeouts so far here in the early part of the first ball game here out of 4 hitters. 1 down in the first or a one down here in the second as the first hitter, Bill Smith, flew out to center field. Here's the pitch to Scarcliffe, a swing and a miss. And that's strikeout number 4 so far here early in the first ball game for Steve Markey, and that'll bring up Tom Dunn, his pitching counterpart. Dunn, a right-handed hitter, steps in with 2 down in the second inning. Here's the delivery from Steve Markey. It's inside for ball 1. Illinois Central has had 5 batters, and most of them have been come up there looking at the pitches, and 4 of them have struck out so far. Now Dunn calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box. Now he's ready, steps back in. Here's the pitch from Markey. Way low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 down. Second inning action from Falcon Field. Plenty of time to get out here and catch some good baseball action here in the spring, although we have winter-like conditions today. Here's the pitch to Dunn. Strike call on the outside corner. That'll make it 2-1. Here's the pitch to Dunn. Slow roller down to the shortstop. Chris Wire quickly comes up with it, makes the throw just in time. Nice play from shortstop Chris Wire. Got Tom Dunn out by a half a step at first, and that's 3 up and 3 down again here in the second inning for Illinois Central. After 1.5 from Falcon Field, no score. 1.5 so far here at Falcon Field. We have no score. First 3 hitters for SIC here in the second inning will be Dave Cantwell. He'll be coming back to the plate, as Greg Goodley was thrown out at home for the 3rd out. Cantwell was at the plate, so he'll return back to the batter's box here to lead off the second inning. Ryan Gray will follow him. Then it'll be Dennis Baconhaster. Illinois Central from Peoria, winless so far on the season at 0-6. And so far they haven't shown too much here in this first ball game offensive-wise. Dave Cantwell steps in, the lanky left-handed hitter for SIC, to lead off the bottom half of the second inning. Tom Dunn, the right-hander's on the mound. First pitch is high for ball 1. As we told you last inning, Cantwell a .306 hitter. Here's the pitch to him. It's inside for ball 2. (2-0) to Dave Cantwell. A big target to throw to. This time the pitch is a strike call on the outside corner to Cantwell. 2-1 to Dave Cantwell as he leads off the bottom half of the second inning here for Southeastern. No score so far. This pitch is low and inside to Cantwell to run the count to 3-1. The pitch to Cantwell. Ground ball to the second baseman. He fields it easily, makes the throw in time, and Dave Cantwell is out number 1 here in the second inning. That'll bring up Ryan Gray. Gray from El Dorado, the catcher. Last year's Southern Illinois Player of the Year in high school baseball for Danny Stevens' El Dorado Eagles. Gray so far here on the spring, hitting .367, 11 for 30. 6 RBIs, and Ryan with 2 stolen bases steps in. Dunn is ready to go, and here's the pitch to Gray. First pitch inside and high for ball 1. On deck is Dennis Baconhaster for SIC. Here's the pitch to Gray. Hard shot down the third base line, fielded cleanly by